Kate, I think you're overreacting. Now, Steve has a home with Ginny and me. But there's no way we're going to live under the same roof with Justin.
I am not overreacting. Doc Willard said that Steve could be on the verge of a nervous breakdown. If you take him away from here, it might be the very thing that would push him over the edge.
Well, I'm not saying we have to take him away right now. We'll wait until he gets better.
I don't think he should be moved from here at all. He belongs here.
And I don't think he should stay here.
Why?
Because it's going to be much better for him if he's not living in the same house with Justin.
Ryan?
This is the way I feel. Under no circumstances are we leaving Steve with Justin for any length of time. I'm going to go upstairs and talk to Steve.
Ginny, that boy is your son. You have the right to do what you think is best for him. You know I'm right.
Yes, I know.
Justin.
Close your eyes.
Oh, all right.
Over here.
I
here.
never know.
Just a second. Close. Keep them closed.
They're closed.
There we are.
I never know
Straight
what
ahead.
you're going to do.
Straight ahead now. Keep them closed.
All right. They're closed.
Don't you open them.
Now?
Nope.
Crazy man.
Now. Here it is, Ashley. The home of what will be once again the king of oil companies, Marshall Oil.
It's enormous.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be big, Ashley. We're going to do things in a big way.
Well, Justin, how are we going to afford this?
Don't you worry. You're a pretty little head about this. We'll manage, Doug. Now, I want to show you everything.
Oh, I want to see it.
First, I want to show you the view. Right over here. What do you see, Donna? You recognize anything?
Well, recognize what?
That building right across the street.
It's World Oil.
That's right. That's World Oil. Now we won't ever have to let them out of our sight again. Will we?
Yes. Oh, all right. Hello, Marion. How are you? Oh, everything's fine, thank you. What can I do for you? What about Justin Marshall? Of course I know the building. It's right across the street. Justin did what? No, Marion, I don't want to hear any more about the office he's leased. This is something I've got to check out for myself. Thank you.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Roy is not back yet?
Haven't seen him, doll. But that audio man finally called. He said he's dropped by a little later.
Well, that's good. Listen, if Andy calls about rehearsal, would you tell him I'm at my Aunt Meg's?
Will do. Hey, hang on a second. You going over there now?
That's what I said, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you did. Want some company?
What?
Well, from what I hear, your Aunt Maggie makes the best chili in this part of Texas, if not all Texas. You wouldn't mind if I tagged along now, would you?
Yes, I would. Listen, I don't know if you know this, but my aunt doesn't want Ruby anywhere near her place. That goes for her friends, too.
Hey, you got it all wrong, doll.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. I told you before, Ruby and I aren't really friends. She's just my manager, that's it.
Yeah, right.
You're not being fair, you know.
You talk about being fair. What you lack in ethics, you make up for in gall.
Hey, I'm just a fella trying to make a living. Ruby helps me out a bit. That's it. What's so terrible about that?
I don't much like the way you're going about it.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think making a living should include trying to poison Billy Joe.
Hey, I told you before, that was all Ruby's idea. I didn't want any part of it.
Oh, and you just couldn't say no, could you?
Yeah, you know Ruby. She's a pretty fast talker.
Oh, come on, Bo. You don't expect me to believe this, do you? You're every bit as guilty as Ruby is, and you know it.
Hey, Elena, I was really hoping you and I could be friends.
Well, why would you want that, Bo? I mean, what's in it for you?
I like you. That's all. That, and I thought that we'd make a pretty good team.
I'm not interested.
There's something else I want to tell you, Elena.
Yeah?
I'm real sorry if there's anything that I've done to upset you.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. And, well, I don't suppose you really be wanting this now.
What is that?
Oh, it's nothing really. Stupid idea. See, after I went back to my motel room after you left, and I wanted to sort of make it up to you, but I guess I'm really a dope. See, I wrote you this song, but I guess you're not going to want it now. I wanted to give it to you as kind of a peace offering.
Good show today, Ricky.
Hey, thanks.
I only caught the tail end of your song, but it sounded terrific.
Well, the singing part was okay, but the rest of the show was a mess.
A mess? Well, what happened?
Phil Roberts was trying to freeze Billy Joe out of the whole show today.
Are those two fighting again?
Well, Phil Roberts is, that's for sure.
And what about Billy Joe?
Billy Joe was trying to make peace with the guy, and he just told Billy Joe to buzz off.
What's eating Phil?
Well, I guess he's got a right to be upset.
Why?
I'd be upset, too, if somebody was accusing me of having poisoned someone.
Billy Joe did that? He accused Phil?
Well, he didn't come right out and say it, you know, but that's the rumor that's going around the studio. Everybody's talking about it, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if Phil hasn't heard it.
Where's Billy Joe?
I think he went back into his dressing room.
Well, I gotta go talk to him.
Ruby, don't be too hard on him. He really did try to talk to Phil Roberts.
I'm not gonna be hard on him, Ricky. I just want to make sure that he's okay. Ruby. Hi, Mrs. Bellman. How are you doing? I was just telling Ricky what a great show it was today.
Where is Billy Joe?
Well, I believe he's in his dressing room. As a matter of fact, I was on my way there. Can I take him a message?
Yes, you can. I want to see both you and Billy Joe in my office immediately. And I do mean right now.
Ashley, this area right over here is going to be the reception area. I tell you, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. My interior designer is going to create a very special feeling for this room.
Now, wait a minute. You've hired an interior designer?
An award winner. He's going to help us create an image of success, of stability, of innovation. The reception area is the first look people will have of Marshall Oil. First impressions count. We have to make absolutely sure that it's right.
Well, exactly how much is this impression going to cost?
All the furniture is going to be custom made.
Well, Justin, you didn't answer my question.
The rugs are going to be imported, and the guy has even commissioned an artist to do some wall graphics.
Justin, have you gone crazy?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you spending all this money. You're going to put us deeper and deeper in debt.
Now stop worrying about the money.
Well, somebody's got to worry. You're sure not.
It's very important to me, Ashley.
But the money's...
We'll get the money.
Well, now, where's this pot of gold that I don't know about, Justin? Because as far as I can see, all the money's going out, and they ain't nothing coming in.
We got to spend money to make money, Ashley.
We don't need an office this big. We can start out with a smaller office.
I don't want anything small. Besides, I've already signed the lease.
You did what? You signed? You signed a lease without even discussing it with me? What do you think you're doing? You're getting us in way over our heads, and don't look at me like that.
Rena!
Oh, please don't let me interrupt this little family discussion.
What a pleasant surprise, Rena.
I don't think so, Justin.
I just hope you got a good plan how to get us out of this mess.
I'm telling you, she doesn't know anything.
Why not? Everybody else does. That's the main topic of conversation around here these days, how Phil Roberts tried to poison me.
Okay, so let him talk. Nobody can prove anything. And as long as you refuse to press charges, nothing is ever going to come of it.
You're not listening to me, Ruby.
I'm listening to you, Billy Joe.
Phil Roberts is innocent. You're starting to believe your own lies now, aren't you?
No, I'm not, but I'm telling you, you shouldn't stick up for Phil Roberts. Do you know what that man tried to do to you, Billy Joe? Well, he even told me that he wishes he gave you those pills.
You're missing the whole point, Ruby. The man is innocent.
Okay, so he's innocent, so what's the big deal?
You can't go around framing people.
I did it for you.
I didn't ask you to.
Billy Joe, I was trying to help you.
From looks, it looks like you're going to help me right out of this job. You know that, Ruby? I got to tell you something. I don't need help like that.
You're forgetting something, darling. I'm the one that got you this job to begin with.
I'm not forgetting it, Ruby, but what you tried to do was wrong. Can't you see that? It was dead wrong.
So what was I supposed to do, Billy Joe? Just stand there and do nothing? Bill told me that he wouldn't stop until you and Ricky were both off the show. So what was I supposed to do? I had to do something.
I could have handled Phil Roberts.
Oh, yeah. You were doing a great job at handling it. Look. It's gonna be okay. Just stop worrying. Trust me.
I'm probably going to lose my job, and you're telling me to trust you.
Billy Joe, you are not gonna lose your job. As a matter of fact, the more I think about it, the more I think there's a way. There's a way we can turn this whole thing to our advantage.
Here's Billy Joe.
He and Ruby are still at the studio.
Why are they there so late?
Vicki Bellman stormed into the studio today and said she wanted to see them both in her office. She was real mad about something.
I wonder if she found...
Found what?
If she found out that Phil Roberts and Billy Joe aren't getting along so well.
Elena, that's no big news. Everybody at the studio knows about that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe she was just worried about the show.
Yeah, well, she ought to be worried about the show. The other day, Phil Roberts came in drunk, and then somebody tries to poison Billy Joe.
Have they found out who was slipping him those antibiotics?
Well, rumor has it that Phil Roberts did it.
Do you really think he would do something like that?
I don't know what to think.
You don't?
No, I go in there every day, and I do my job. I just wish everybody else would do the same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, what do you got there? Is that one of those arrangements that Andy was talking about?
No, this is a song that Bo wrote.
Bo. You gonna use that in your show?
I don't know. I guess maybe I'll go over it with Andy and see what he thinks about it.
And what do you think about it?
I don't know. It might be pretty good. I don't know.
Is that guy trying to peddle his stuff off on you?
No, he's not. This was just a present.
A present for what?
Well, maybe he was just trying to be nice.
How nice is he being, Elena?
What are you getting at?
Is this guy coming on to you? Because if he is, I'd love to put him in his place.
Ricky, come on. He's not coming on to me. Hey, I could take care of myself, big brother.
I'd be delighted to take you on a grand tour.
You really amaze me, Justin.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I can't believe that you actually have the gall to set up your office right across the street from World Oil.
Well, I like to keep my eye on the competition.
Do you really think that this rinky-dink operation of yours is in the same league as World Oil?
We're moving in. We're going to kick you right out of first place before you know it.
Oh, please don't make me laugh.
I don't hear anybody laughing.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, Ashley, but I gather you're not too thrilled with this.
Ashley and I disagreed on the color scheme that the interior designer suggested.
The interior designer?
That's right.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Oh, you will be. This office is going to be the most gorgeous thing that you've ever seen, and yes, I am very thrilled about it.
Well, I'm not. Frankly, I'm surprised you have been able to get an office in this building. I really thought this was a classier neighborhood.
It's a very good neighborhood. It's a very good landlady. One I'm sure you'd approve of.
What are you getting at?
Your mother owns this building. I've leased this space from her.
My mother.
That's right.
She owns this building?
You didn't know. My. It is getting late. You'll excuse me. Rena, I have some business to take care of.
Justin.
Yeah.
I need to speak with you.
Later, darling, at the ranch. Listen, you won't forget to make an appointment with the doctor for later this week?
Justin.
That's a good girl. Bye.
Doctor?
The baby.
An imaginary doctor for an imaginary baby.
So you see, Mrs. Bellman, this whole thing has just been one terrible mistake.
A mistake?
Yes. You see, Billy Joe woke up with a terrible sore throat the other morning. And, he was petrified that it would interfere with his job. I told him to go to the doctor, but he refused because he knew that the doctor was going to make him go to bed, and he was afraid that he would miss out on his work. Now, you can understand that, can't you?
Yes, Ruby, I can understand. Will you please get to the point?
Well, there was this, old prescription in the medicine closet, and, well, Billy Joe just started taking it.
Are you saying that Billy Joe gave himself an overdose of trachomycin?
That's right. And you see, by the time he got to the hospital and they figured out what was causing all the damage, Billy Joe just became too embarrassed to tell anybody about it.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want a straight answer.
Of course. Ask me anything you want.
Was this some kind of publicity stunt?
A publicity stunt?
That's right.
Oh, no, Mrs. Bellman, no. How could you ever think I would do something like that?
Because I find your story difficult to believe.
I know, but it's true. See, Billy Joe made one little mistake. But I don't think you can really blame him because of all the tremendous pressure that he has been under.
What pressure?
Oh, I think I said too much already.
Ruby, please.
Well, Mrs. Bellman, I get so mad at myself sometimes because when I feel there's an injustice being done to somebody, I just can't keep my mouth shut.
What injustice?
Well, I guess you know by now that Billy Joe and Phil have been fighting a lot lately. Mm-hmm. And believe me, I am the last person who would ever say anything against another performer. But Phil has done some terrible things to Billy Joe. He has upset him so much that half the time, poor Billy Joe doesn't even know if he is coming or going.
Look, Mrs. Bellman, I want you to know that I'm very sorry about what's happened here. Believe me, I never meant for anybody to think that Phil Roberts gave me those pills. Now, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to talk to Phil Roberts, and I'm going to apologize to him, and I'm sure we're going to work out some way we can settle this whole thing once and for all.
Yes, well, I think an apology is in order, Billy Joe, but I don't think it's going to solve any long-term problems.
Long-term problems I don't understand, Miss Bellman.
I saw the show today. And quite frankly, I have very serious doubts about the viability of a show as long as this friction exists between the both of you.
No, I'm sure we can work this thing out. We're going to work it out.
I'm not quite so sure, Billy Joe. I'm afraid the animosity is always going to be there.
I completely agree with you, Mrs. Bellman. And that's why I'm so glad we could have this little talk today. Because, you know, with Billy Joe and Phil fighting, well, the show just isn't going to be good. So don't you think it's about time we talked about Billy Joe getting a show of his own?
Now, Miss Rena, I hardly see how my doctor's appointment is any of your business.
And I don't see why you're so concerned.
Well, now, what's that supposed to mean?
You're not pregnant, Ashley.
Oh, Rena.
So I don't understand why you continue going on with this ridiculous exercise. Unless, of course, Justin is still buying it.
You know that I have test reports to prove that I'm pregnant.
They could be falsified.
Rena, you know, for a supposedly smart woman, you really don't learn very quickly, do you?
I manage, darling.
No. You still haven't learned your lesson yet.
And what lesson is that, dear?
Well, have you forgotten already? Don't you remember what happened the last time that you went to Justin and tried to convince him that I wasn't pregnant? Or do you just want to make a fool of yourself all over again?
This is the time I'll be vindicated.
Don't count on it.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what's happening here.
Well, it's really not that difficult to understand.
Have you managed to get yourself pregnant in the last couple of weeks? Is that what you've done?
That is something we're not even going to discuss. That is between Justin and me.
I want to give you a little advice,
Oh,
Ashley,
please
for
spare
your own
me.
business. You're going to have to face this eventually.
Oh, well, I can't wait.
A lot of people are going to be counting the months of your pregnancy. If indeed you are pregnant now.
Lady, mind your own business.
I am. I always do.
And just how do you figure that?
You see, Justin is my business. Since you're his wife, claiming to be carrying his child, that also makes you my business. I intend to make Justin's life very unpleasant. Therefore, I'll make your life unpleasant too, Ashley.
Oh, I was worried. Where did you go?
I went for a long walk. I've been doing some thinking.
Ginny, I hope you know I didn't want to upset you by what I said.
Of course I know that.
I just felt it was important for me to say something. See, I've talked to Steve. He doesn't want to leave the ranch. It almost broke my heart when he asked me if I didn't want him here.
He asked you that?
Yes. I didn't know what to say. How can a boy his age understand what's been going on here?
He can't understand. Damn, if it only weren't for Justin.
Oh, I know, Ginny. If Justin weren't my grandson, I'd know. I know exactly how Ryan feels. And you've got to think about Ryan's feelings, too.
No matter what decision I make, I'm going to hurt somebody. I don't know what to do, Kate.
Well, the two of you are going to have to sit down and decide what's important, and you can't wait too long to make that decision.
Steve's feeling a little stronger.
Well, I think I'd better go start supper. The two of you will be here, won't you?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we're both going to stay here tonight.
I'm glad, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, I didn't want to leave you here all by yourself. You know what? I think our worries are almost behind us.
What do you mean?
Well, I got Steve to talking a little, and I even made him smile. Honey, the only thing wrong with Steve is he's just weak from lack of food and rest, that's all.
No, I think it's much more than that.
Hey, he's had a tough time with Barrett. Now, you got to give him some kind of credit.
What are you talking about?
He's a strong boy. He's going to bounce back.
I'm not so sure.
Well, I am.
Ryan, I've been wandering around all afternoon, doing some thinking.
Oh, what?
I don't think we should take Steve away from here.
Honey, you're not going to start this again, are you? Ginny?
I've made a decision.
What?
I think that we ought to stay here and live on the ranch, permanently.
I thought I went through this whole thing with you before. I'm not going to live here with Justin.
I know.
Thought you understood that.
I do. But Steve's health and welfare is very important to me. I have to consider what's best for my son.
You think it's that important to Steve, right?
Yes, I do. I think Kate was right. Dr. Willard told her what the consequences would be if we took him away from here.
Ginny, I can't stay here.
Honey, don't force me to choose between you and Stephen.
Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Look, we shouldn't be fighting like this. Huh?
I know. I don't want to fight with you either.
Steve's gonna get better, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. We don't have to come up with a decision right now, do we?
I think we do.
What's the big rush?
Because Stephen needs to know how much we love him and that he's got a permanent home right here. We can't let him feel secure and then tear him away again. Then the same situation will happen all over. Now, I'm going to go up to his room and see him.
Don't say anything to him right now, okay? Until we talk this over a little more.
All right, I'm not going to say anything to him, Ryan. But I'm telling you something. I've made my decision.
And so have I. And it looks like we have a great big problem now, doesn't it?
How's Ruby? She in the office?
Ruby hasn't come home from the studio.
She's still at the studio. And that show was over a long time ago. What, are they having some sort of problem?
It's no concern of yours.
No, what's eating you?
You?
What's that mean?
It means lay off my sister.
Hey, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about that song you're trying to peddle.
Hey, look. I gave Elena that song because I thought it would be good for her. It's between her and me. None of your business.
I'm making it my business. Look, you may be one of Ruby's clients, but that doesn't mean I have to like you. I got a feeling that she's wasting her time on you.
That's funny. I don't remember ever asking your opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm giving it. You know something? I took a look at that song that you wrote for Elena. You're a real no-talent hack.
Is that so?
Yeah, that's so. And I don't much like you hanging around here all the time trying to push your songs off on my sister.
And since when have you become the big musical talent?
You don't have to become much of a musical talent to know that the sky is blue and so are you stuff is for the birds.
Are you looking for a fight?
Yeah.
We are both Ruby's clients. We ought to try to get along.
Yeah, well, get this. Stay away from my sister.
I was just up to see Steve. He seems fine.
He isn't fine.
Well, he doesn't seem to be in any pain or anything, Grandma.
Well, I'm taking this up to him.
I gotta go down to the barn. One of the mares came up lame, actually.
Justin, wait just a minute.
What is it, Donna?
I think we need to finish our discussion that Miss Rena interrupted this afternoon.
I really think I have to go down and see this mare.
Now, Justin, don't change the subject.
What subject is that you're talking about?
You know good and well what subject. The one that's near and dear to your heart. Money.
What about it?
You're spending too much of it.
I told you not to worry about the
Well,
money.
Justin, I am worried. You know, I did a little research on the office this afternoon. It costs a fortune.
We'll manage.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Your little interior decorator came in there today, said that some of your imports were going to be a little late. Imports? Justin, you can't keep spending money like this. We're going to end up having to declare bankruptcy before we ever even get the office open.
Ashley, it's none of your business how much money I'm spending.
As long as I'm your wife, I make it my business. Now, I don't know why you have to have everything always, all at one time. Do I need to remind you that all that Marshall Oil has is an option on some gas stations?
Those are potential gold mines. I got high hopes for those stations.
Well, big ideas take big money, and you don't have it.
Damn it, Ashley! Last thing I need is your harping at me like this. I'm gonna spend that money any damn way I please, and I expect you to stand behind me on this.
Well, let's eat.
Mother, I want to talk to you.
Hello, Rena.
I don't know how my own mother could do this to me.
Do what?
Oh, you know very well what I'm talking about.
I don't have the slightest idea.
Justin Marshall.
Is that supposed to help me?
For the life of me, I don't know why you would lease him an office in a building that you own.
Rita, what are you talking about?
Would you like me to spell it out for you?
Yes, I wish you would.
All right. Justin's new office happens to be in a building right across the street from World Oil. You own that building.
Oh, yes, I suppose I do.
Mama, you can't possibly be that slow.
Rena, I don't interview the applicants who want to rent space in that building. I have an agency that handles that.
Well, then the agency is at fault. They're stupid because they should have called you.
And if they had, what did you expect me to do?
Turn them down. And that's exactly what I want you to do now.
On what grounds?
Mama, you know what kind of person Justin Marshall is.
Honey, look, I run a business, and it's not run on personal likes and dislikes. Now, I'm sure there are several people in that building that I wouldn't like personally, but they pay the rent on time, and they run legitimate businesses.
Well, I can't find anything legitimate about Justin.
No, you can't be certain of that.
Oh, yes, I can.
Rena, you are going to get hurt if you don't stop this.
Stop what?
His personal vendetta against Justin.
Mama, I know exactly what I am doing, all right? Because I have thought long and hard about this, and I'm going to get even with him.
Oh, honey, listen to yourself. You sound so childish.
There is nothing childish about what I intend to do. I'm going to get Justin and that simple wife of his. Do you know what she's still doing?
No.
She's still going around telling everyone that she's pregnant with Justin's child.
Maybe she is.
Oh, Mama, don't be so naive.
I am not naive. And I'm telling you, Rena, that you have got to forget Justin and get on with living your own life.
I'm going to get even with Justin. With or without your help, Mama.
Well, I wanted to ride that pony so bad I couldn't stand it, so I concocted this wild disaster that happened way at the other end of the ranch. And while they were all out trying to find out what happened, I rode Black Thunder. Oh, I remember how smug I felt, thinking I'd tricked all of you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Steve really got a kick out of that. Yeah. He really did. You know, I think Steve enjoys this ranch as much as I did when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. Sure nice having a lot of people for dinner. It's been a long time. Well, Ginny, you're spending the night, I suppose.
Yes.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm staying with Ginny.
Mm-hmm. I think your devotion to Steve is very touching. Well, considering the fact that you're not even the boy's real father.
We're all concerned about Steve, Justin.
And, Grandma, I think you're all worrying unnecessarily. The boy's going to be just fine.
Kate, did Stephen eat anything at all today?
A little.
Grandma, when are you going to come down to the new offices and Marshall Oil? I think you'll be very impressed.
I'm not easily impressed, Justin.
The bills will be impressive enough.
If you'll excuse me, I have some work I want to get caught up on.
Yeah, me too. Never dreamed there was so much paperwork getting a new business started. See y'all.
Well, I'm through. I can help y'all clean up.
Well, thank you, Ashley. Ginny and I'll manage.
I'll leave it with y'all.
Ginny, what's wrong?
I've decided to stay out at the ranch for Steve's sake. And Ryan doesn't want to live here with Justin. What am I going to do?
We'll figure out something.
How'd your meeting with Vicky go?
Couldn't have been better.
What was she all steamed up about?
Oh, she wasn't so steamed up.
You could have fooled me.
She was just a little upset because Billy Joe and Phil haven't been getting along too well lately.
Haven't been getting along too well? Ruby, that is an understatement. Everybody down at the station thinks that Phil Roberts tried to poison Billy Joe to get him off the show.
Yeah, well, people are going to talk. I'm not going to worry about that.
Oh, well, you better worry about that. That's a real big deal down at the station.
Yeah, well, Billy Joe's going to go see Phil tomorrow and get the whole thing cleared up.
Now, what good is that going to do? He's already seen him a couple of times. It hasn't worked.
You know, this time it's going to work.
How do you figure that?
I just think Phil's attitude toward Billy Joe is going to change when he finds out that Billy Joe might be leaving the show.
Well, Victoria gave him the boot?
Maybe, but not in the way you think.
What are you trying to say, Ruby?
Ricky, Billy Joe might be getting his own show. Isn't that terrific?
Yeah, that's real terrific.
I think it calls for a celebration, a champagne celebration.
Yeah, well, if it's all the same to you, I'll pass.
Okay. What is it? I can't believe that you would begrudge Billy Joe this little bit of success.
I'm not begrudging Billy Joe this little bit of success. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't much care one way or the other about Billy Joe's success.
Well, what's the matter with you? I was feeling so good. Why do you want to bring me down?
I'm sorry if I burst your bubble.
Well, you already have, so you might as well tell me what's wrong.
I had a little run-in with your other star client today.
You had a fight with Bo?
Almost.
What about?
Elena.
What about her?
He's been coming on to her, Ruby, and I don't like that one damn bit.
And remember, Texas tractors are made right here in the good old U.S. of A.
And cut.
How was that? You want to do it again?
No, that was a take, and I'll take these, thank you.
All righty.
Thank you, David.
I saw you on the monitors outside. You're really becoming a pro at these commercials.
Well, there's not much to it. I just get up there and say the words.
Oh, come on. You just make it look easy, but I know it's not.
Elena, I got to ask you something.
Sure, Billy Joe.
Why did you really come over here today?
I told you because I wanted us to be friends again.
You were right. You really did know about Ruby.
You mean about the pills? Yeah, I did. I tried to tell you, Billy Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Well, see, I can understand you really not wanting to hear anything bad about your sister. You didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, I did want to believe it.
Well, she told you, didn't she?
Yeah. Elena, I owe you an apology.
Hey, it's okay. Look, if somebody told me something bad about Ricky, I wouldn't believe it either.
Well, the crazy thing is, Ruby thought she was doing me a favor. You know how Ruby is. She gets carried away sometimes.
You don't have to explain.
I had no right jumping all over you like that.
Well, look, Billy Joe. It's okay. And you were right. Now, you said that I haven't been very much of a friend to you, and maybe I haven't, but I'm going to change that all from now on.
Justin?
Grandma, I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh.
I just saw a light on in here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I want to talk to you.
What about, Grandma?
Sit down, Justin.
Well, sounds serious.
It is very serious. I want you and Ashley to move off the ranch.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Texas.
I don't believe I heard you right, Grandma.
You heard me. I want you out of this ranch, and I'm willing to buy you out.
Now, what brought this on?
Steve,
What are you talking about?
Doc Willard says it would be dangerous to move him off the ranch. It might even kill him.
Oh, what's the problem? He can stay here as long as he wants. I've always liked that kid.
Not that simple, Justin.
Oh, Grandma, why not?
Ginny wants to stay here with him.
Oh, now I see what you're getting at, Grandma. You want Ryan and Ginny to live here. You know Ryan would live here because of me, right?
That's why I'm willing to buy you out. This ranch means everything to Steve. Doesn't mean anything to Ashley, and not much to you either.
That's where you're wrong, Grandma. This ranch has always been very special to me. All right.
All right. What does that mean?
This is very important to you, isn't it?
You know it is.
I'll go along with it.
Just like that.
I want to help out any way I can, Grandma.
Does that mean I can go ahead with the papers?
As soon as you want to.
What are you up to, Justin?
Oh, Grandma, why do I have to be up to something anyway? I just want to help the family out.
I want to thank you, Justin. That takes a great load off my mind. And Ginny and Steve will be very grateful.
Like I said, Grandma, I just want to help out. Well, I'm really tired. I got a big day tomorrow. I better go to bed. $5 million isn't too much to ask, is it, Grandma? I mean, it's a nice round figure.
What?
I think you heard me, Grandma. I want $5 million for the ranch.
Justin, you're just the same as you always were. I don't know why I thought you might have changed.
I'm sorry, Grandma. That's my price. $5 million. Take it or leave it.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.